right over here on this wall here, we have a photo. It likely comes from the 20th century. Oh, yeah, you see maybe some of the remnants. There was a text. We have an old photo of a text that was in here. Now, it's not ancient Egyptian. It's written in English. So it had to be somebody in the 19th, 19th or 20th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th century. In the last few hundred years, because it's written in English, but it mentions Atlantis. The word Atlantis is right over here in this section, and it says something about Atlantis and Apollonia Satayana. So I'm trying to use the ultraviolet light to see if I can see the remains of any of the text. You can't really see anything, so I brought this. I was hoping to maybe see something. But you can find the photo. I posted it online in the video. It's an old photo that we have. It says Atlantis, Apollonia Satayana. Apollonia Satayana was a contemporary with Jesus Christ. What's that? Yeah, you can try. Apollonia Satayana was a contemporary of Jesus Christ who also walked the planet, healing people and so forth. He was the one that discovered, you may have heard of the Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. Well, that's merely the imagination of Dr. Doriel, Claude Dawkins, but there was a Hermetic tablet text that we know from alchemical tradition, and every alchemist back in the day had a copy of the Emerald Tablet. It was the basis for alchemy in a Hermetic tradition. We have the phrase "as above, so below" essentially encoded within. And so Apollonia Satayana is the one that claims to have discovered the Emerald Tablet. And though we've never seen it, our first account of it is in the 5th century AD by a priest, Sergius of Naplius, that writes about translating the text, which claims to be a text of Apollonia Satayana. So anyway, Apollonia Satayana is mentioned here, Atlantis is mentioned here, but it's since deteriorated. So let me try the other light. Yeah, so I mean the last couple of hundred years, so last few decades even, the writing has eroded. Let's see if I can see in the, yeah, you can't really make, I was hoping to bring this light and maybe see some of the remnants, but.
Mostly original walls.
Yeah, put the light back on, because sometimes you can see faint traces of the paint under right conditions. And little pieces, not the whole. I've never seen the text fully intact, but like in here, you can see a little bit of it. A lot of it's mostly gone. But this was the Atlantis text. Over here, Kenny, good to see you here. Did Gay come with you? Is she here?
I think she stayed on the bus.
She stayed on the bus.
I've been on.
You guys are more than welcome to go through the passage there. It truncates. It comes to an ending. I mean, if you feel like you want to conquer the whole pyramid and go through every inch of the pyramid, you may do so. It's a little.
Block or just open up?
No, you go. It's not a block. It's a passage. You go all the way. You can't see the ending from here, but if you crawl to the end, you keep going and it stops. You feel free to go over there. This is the pit. Yeah. And these things, this is the Anyextee theory. Well, first, this isn't a theory. We know that initiations have taken place here, a different kind of initiation. But once you've fully been initiated, you go through a whole fire, earth, air, water ceremony, starting here in the depths, and you work your way up. You stop below and you work your way up. Initiations take place here. You can partake in a way if you want. What you do is climb up here, and you go inside there, and you lay down in there. That's part of the living resurrection ritual. All over the world, many traditions had this living resurrection ritual where the king, the pharaoh, whoever, the initiate, would go inside a sarcophagus or an enclosed area or this, and sometimes the lid would go over for 3 days. They would close someone in for 3 days, and then he would be born again. The whole idea is to go through a death. It's not a literal death, it's a figurative death. Because we live to die and die to live again, and so you want to give death to your old self. It's just like in Freemasonry, when they raise a Mason, they go through a ceremony, and you're born anew. You're raised in the lodge. So in a sense, it's a death. But yeah, you can lay down. I've done it before. You lay down flat on your back, as if you're in the. But this is the Anyextee theory, maybe. I'm not entirely convinced, but this is what I think, maybe. Tell me this doesn't slightly, eerily, somewhat reminiscent of a sphinx.
Yes.
You have two paws, and we talk about two sphinxes, broken over time. No one's mentioned this before, nobody else talks about this. This is totally Anyextee, so if you hear others talking about it, this may have broken off. There was maybe more here. Potentially could have been two sphinxes. I don't know. Something. We don't know what this is. We don't know what it is, but you know, it's roughly hewn, and it's deteriorated and broken over time. But you know, potentially, maybe, you know, this could have been one of the paws. This could have been another. There's a chest. It's just like a smaller version. It kind of reminds me of one. I mean, it could have been chiseled down. Whatever it was, it looks like it was something at some time, even if it was not a sphinx.
Well, I seen yesterday and during the papyrus, they have the dog on top of
Anubis.
On top of the case.
Yeah, that's the Robert Temple theory. Robert Temple believes the original Sphinx was not the head of a man nor a lion, but the head of a dog, Anubis. However, Robert Nayland, world-class, award-winning ice sculptor, proved that the Sphinx at Giza couldn't be Anubis because the nose would break off, and we've seen a broken nose at the Ramesseum. Possible, it's all possible. Yeah, I mean, this could have been a giant, we don't know. This could have been a giant Anubis on top of, you know, right, an area, we don't know. But doesn't it look like a crouching dog or a lion?
What would have been the box, like on the papyrus that I saw? They had
The stone?
Yeah,
symbolic of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, what's in the box? Or what's
Oh, that's usually, it's in a box. It's not a box, it's usually the shrine or the temple. They sit on top of the temple or the shrine of the enclosure. They're the protector, the guardians of the secrets below.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. You see something? Right here. Yeah, see? Yeah. There's a few other pieces along here too. There used to be more. Let me try this way. Is this on? What was it? Oh yeah. Yeah, hard to make out. Hard to.